On this final day of the ACC regular season, Pitt and Miami meet to get momentum heading into the ACC tournament. Two great guards will try and lead their teams to that final win. Brianna Kiesel for Notre Dame and Adrian Motley of Miami. It's the Panthers and the Canes, and it starts right now.
Until recently, the sun has not been shining in Miami for the Hurricanes women's basketball team. But today, they go for win number 3 in a row for the first time this season. Miami at home against the Pitt Panthers here at the Bank United Center. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Hogwood here along with Debbie Antonelli. We welcome you to ACC Women's Hoops. Debbie, the final day of the regular season. There's still a lot to play for a lot of teams.
Mike, we've been following the league all year, so it's not really a surprise to see that the race would come down to the last day to determine seeding in the ACC tournament. But now it's time for the tournament, so let's get it going.
And we're going to see some great players today, and that starts with Pitt's Brianna Kiesel, who, I'll tell you what, on a disappointing team, she's had a great year.
She has been the most consistent player for them. This is a new team and a new league with a new coach, but Brianna Kiesel has delivered every game. She consistently has gotten better. She's their best scorer. She's their best ball handler. She has a lot of responsibility. She goes to the free throw line more than any player in the ACC at 6 free throw attempts a game. You got to be able to check her defensively. And for Miami, Adrian Motley has emerged as one of the top freshmen in this league. She is trending the right way because every week she's gotten better. She's added to her offensive game. She's a big-time scorer for them. Last 6 games, she's averaged 15 points.
Debbie, those two are our Hardy's star to watch. About ready to go here. Miami trying to keep that momentum going before we get to Greensboro on Wednesday. Pitt trying to pull off an upset and stay out of that bottom spot in the ACC standings. Lineups and tip-off in a moment.
Regular season broadcast, Miami and Pittsburgh, and Pitt comes in at 11-18, 3-12 in the ACC. We'll take a look at our Toyota lineups. We've told you about Brianna Kiesel and how well the junior's playing, averaging 16.5 a game. The other double-figure scorer in that lineup is senior Asia Logan. The other senior is Markel Davis, who's in the starting lineup for Pitt. Now for Miami, Adrian Motley, as we told you, is on a tear, the freshman. But Crystal Saunders, the senior, has been honored here today on Senior Day. And Kiana Hayes has been playing great. She's coming off a career-high 22 against Virginia last time out. Miami has won 2 in a row. They won here last Sunday over Wake Forest. They won Thursday against Virginia. Pitt has lost 7 of their last 8, including 3 in a row. They last played Thursday night against NC State and lost 79-68. Joe Cunningham, Angel Staten, and Rochelle Jones are our officials. And we're about ready to go here.
Miami lining up to win the jump ball. Pittsburgh in a defensive lineup off the tap.
Miami wearing orange today. Pitt in their road blue uniforms.
Man-to-man defense by Pitt to start the game.
Hayes inside to Brown, fouled on the way up.
Mariah Brown doing a great job getting a deep seal early. Points in the paint critical for Miami today.
And Debbie, here's the season snapshot for Pitt. Snapped a 37-game conference losing streak against Virginia on January 5th, and you got to believe Susie McConnell-Serio is going to get something done there at Pitt.
Without question, she is going to flip it there because she's one of the most decorated players in the history of our game. A couple Olympic medals, one of the best passers in the history of our game. She's a great teacher, and she has a terrific staff. They will build it there at Pitt.
Yeah, we'll be talking more about that a little later on. She's in her first season as the head coach of the Panthers. And just as we saw last week against Wake Forest, here comes Miami out with some pressure. They had 19 steals, Debbie, last Sunday against the defense.
They have multiple defensive looks that they can put on you to keep the pressure on your offense.
Logan missed the three. This is not a good three-point shooting team, Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh's not a very good shooting team at all, so they've got to get easy scoring opportunities by getting points in the paint, getting to the free throw line.
Right now, they've been getting inside as Miami missed the shot. Logan the rebound.
Well, one of the things Katie Meyer talked about today at shoot-around was points in the paint, establishing their game on the baseline. In their first two possessions, they go inside to Brown. Miami in a man-to-man, and they're switching.
This is Davis, number 13, and number 3 is the one you'll keep an eye on. That's Kiesel. Shot clock's at 6. Still belong to Pittsburgh with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Katie Meyer, head coach of Miami, who with a win today, Debbie, could go to 500 in league play. And I don't think you would have said that a couple of weeks ago.
I think it'd be a terrific coaching job by Katie Meyer, whose team was picked to finish 9th, and that's about where they're going to be in the standings.
Got the shot off in time to Chelsea Welch. Couldn't go. Here's Dennis.
And Coach Meyer doesn't mind a quick shot, especially from Dennis, who's capable outside the arc, if it helps build the tempo that they want to play with.
Caprice Dennis inserted into the starting lineup today and not started the last 6 games, but got the start here today.
That play right there by Brianna Kiesel is an example of her IQ. She knows that Miami is switching on those on-ball screens, and she attacks the bigger player off the bounce.
So far, neither team has hit a field goal. This is Kiesel. Look at Brown come out. Look at that defense by Miami. Again, shot clock's under 10. That's Asia Logan, the senior from Baltimore, first field goal of the game.
That's a nice play by Logan. Deep in the shot clock. Kiesel has clock and score recognition. Finds the open shooter.
Logan has had some great games this year. 4 double-doubles this season. And as we said, she is the other double-figure scorer in this lineup.
This setup right here features Kiesel right here. The high on-ball screen.
Good job, Crystal Saunders. It will belong to Miami. So both teams are starting out fairly cold. Pitt 1 for 5 and Miami 0 for 4 to start the game. 3 of those 4 shots have been from behind the arc.
Which means you need to penetrate a little bit, try to put some pressure on that second level of the defense. Just like that, Off the bounce, Motley, who has really been terrific as a freshman for Katie Meyer.
Yeah.
You know what, Mike? We knew the other teams had decorated, ranked recruiting classes, and so we expected players like Diamond Shields, Alicia Gray, Kayla Davis to have big years, and they have. But I think Motley has emerged as a freshman, which would be a little bit of a surprise.
Debbie, that foul's on Mariah Brown, and that is her second. She picks up foul number 2 at the 16:28 mark in the first half.
See, this is Motley, just takes a little contact. I think in the beginning of the year that may have been a foul. I don't want to see us trend the opposite way when we start getting physical on the ball handler. But still, it just proves that Motley can play with a little contact, doesn't get knocked off her line.
So you see Brown having to go to the bench now with 2 fouls. Replaced by Jackson Williams, a freshman, or redshirt junior rather. Dennis Short hit the loose ball. Here comes Kiesel, who is yet to take a shot here. Leading scorer on this team. We've played 4 minutes.
Well, Krista Saunders, one of those 2 seniors. Brown, the other, on the bench with 2 fouls. Honored before the game. She's got the lockdown responsibility most of the time with Kiesel.
Here's Dennis. You were talking about Motley. She is the only player on this Miami team averaging in double figures in ACC games, 14 a game.
What's incredible about that, Mike, is you see the wrap on her left hand. She's had a little bit of a broken hand, bone in her hand that she's played with and played through all season. And she still put up those numbers.
Good drive by Davis to the rim. She's fouled to go to the line for 2 in Miami today. By Toyota and by Visit South. ACC Women's Basketball is brought to you in part by Hardee's, by Toyota, and by Visit South Walton. Back in Miami, shooting has not been stellar here in the first few minutes of this game. Miami has a 2-point lead. This is the final day of the regular season, and Debbie, the bottom 6 have to play on Wednesday next week in Greensboro.
Yeah, so we don't know who that number 10 team is going to be right now between Florida State and Virginia. There's some other scenarios. It's very complicated with the tiebreakers, but at the bottom, Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker over Boston College. They won head-to-head, so if both teams win or lose today, depending on what happens, there's a chance that Pitt could be the 14 seed.
And how about this? Virginia up 2. That's at halftime on Florida State. We'll keep you up on that game since it does have such a big impact on the standings. Davis now 0 for 3 from the line. Make it 1 for 4. She is a 48% free throw shooter, so she has struggled from the free throw line this year.
And we should say about the ACC tournament, with the extra day being the tournament beginning on Wednesday, the top 4 seeds, Notre Dame, Duke, NC State, and Maryland, all get a double bye. They don't play until Friday. That's a nice 2-day extra rest for those teams and coaches that have earned it.
Yeah, and a real advantage, and as you said, they've earned it. Williams had a tough time getting a handle on the ball, and 3 seconds to call. Well, I'm impressed with the quickness of Kiesel. She still has not been able to get a shot off.
Miami changing up their defense all the time, and with McGuire now in the game, she gives them a chance to press and play with up-tempo.
Saraya McGuire, junior out of Minneapolis, takes that shot, and McGuire is fouled. She has shown some real athleticism this season.
She's an incredible athlete. She was telling me this morning at practice that when she was in high school, she used to go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning to play pickup with the guys. That class didn't start until 8 o'clock, and that when they were done playing pickup, they would take sticky notes and see how high up on the backboard they could stick the sticky note. Mike, she can get to the corner, the top of the box on the backboard with her sticky note.
Wow.
I think she can take a quarter off the rim for sure.
Nice pass by McGuire that time to Kiana Hayes. McGuire has been a big part of this 2-game win streak for Miami. And again, it's the first time they've won back-to-back games since late December. Trying to make it 3 in a row here today.
Pitt's just playing on the top of that defense. They got to get a vertical play like that. And look at Williams.
The redshirt junior out of Davie, Florida, goes up and gets the block. Williams, the second best rebounder on this team.
1 on the shot clock.
Got it off in time. Hayes the rebound. Pitt now 1 for 7. Here is Williams in the paint. Last Sunday was an offensive disaster for Pitt. They played Syracuse and were 11 for 54 in that game, 20%. And scored a season low 36 points. That was 7 days ago, and they certainly don't want to repeat that performance here today.
Well, if you're Markel Davis, you take a tough shot in transition, but you don't hang your head. You get back, hustle, make a defensive play, get the ball back. Occasionally, Coach McConnell-Serio will take Kiesel off the ball so that she can get a break and not have to handle up the court against pressure all the time. This would be one of those situations. See if you can run her off the screen, see if you can get your best scorer an opportunity to catch and shoot.
Yeah, Debbie, she's only taken 1 shot today.
Here she is on an isolation.
Oh, and Hayes. Katie Meyer thought that was a block, but Hayes going to be whistled for the foul.
Yeah, that's sorry, Mike. That's a great call by Coach McConnell-Serio, because you get her on a clear out. She's got a big on her. Kiesel has a tremendous IQ. She knows she can take her to the basket, and this is part of the reason why she goes to the free throw line more than any player in the ACC. Smart.
That's her 171st free throw of the year, and Debbie, she is 84% from the line. Look at this. In the second half is where she has really turned it on this year.
You know, I asked her before the game who she trusts the most in a late game situation, a late clock situation. She said Markel Davis. So I think she tries to play with that point guard mentality in the first half, but in the second half, she realizes she's got to be a little more selfish.
Hayes is fouled. Kiesel earlier this year, Debbie, was the first Pitt player to ever be named a National Player of the Week, which says something about what she has done with this team this season.
She draws the best defender every night. She's their best scorer, their best ball handler. And she plays, what, 39 minutes a game in ACC play?
She's number 2 in the league in minutes played overall. Yeah, she does play a lot of minutes because she has to.
She never changes her composure. She stays tough. She's fought through injury this year. And she's continued to deliver for Coach McConnell-Serio.
Had a streak of 5 games where she scored 20 points or more.
There's McGuire at the front of that press, Mike. So tough to deal with.
That press has been effective over the last couple of games. And so far it's looked pretty good here today.
They go to their horn series. Look for Hayes on the dive. There's Hayes posting up.
Kiana Hayes has been playing some great basketball. Ball was on the inline. It'll go back to Miami.
The athletic, the commitment in the traps. Look at Ray McGuire. I mean, how are you going to get the ball past that?
Not easy.
Create a possession. They keep possession down here, and they look for the post up. Points in the paint.
McGuire, there's that athleticism and explosion to the bucket.
I am a big believer in the women's game, that when you catch it in the pinch, all you need is 1 or 2 dribbles. From the top of the key to the rim is 1 dribble for McGuire, and she gets back to the free throw line.
McGuire, if there's been an issue with her game this year, it's been from the line, 58%. She's coming off games, though, in these 2 wins in a row. She had 11 last week against Wake Forest, 13 on Thursday night against Virginia.
But she loves to play defense, Hog. See, this right here is where she knows she can get a pick and a layup.
She leads this Miami team in steals. McManus just in the game, can't hit it. You know, Debbie, they've got 4 players who've got at least 30 steals on this Miami team. And really do like to play defense. Kiesel, her first bucket.
Beautiful. Beautiful pull-up jumper.
Kiesel, a junior, has averaged in double figures every year of her career. Having another great season. And Kiana Hayes coming off her career high. You know, she was 10 for 12 from the field against Virginia on Thursday. Kiesel just kind of slipped, fell down.
Well, we're in the first half here in Miami, and the legend, in many ways, the Miami legend, Lynn Dunn, coming up after the break.
Okay, I can hear now.
Is it too loud?
No, it's good.
What's up? Where you been?
Well, we just had a big little to-do chalk talk before the game with former players and Katie's chalk talk.
Gotcha.
Did you teach them anything?
Well, they wouldn't know all about the draft. They wouldn't know who was going to draft with the 5th pick.
Really?
And they were real curious about how the WNBA works and how we figure out who we're going to draft and all that. It was good. They had great questions. Really into the game. You know, really into what's going on in women's basketball.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Mm-hmm.
ACC Women's Basketball is brought to you in part by Hardee's Chicken Tender Box. Back in Miami, neither team has shot the ball well, but Miami with a 2-point lead. And we've got a very special guest with us today, former coach here at Miami in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, now very involved in the WNBA in Indianapolis, formerly in Seattle. Lynn Dunn is with us. Great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
This is home for you, huh?
Well, yeah, and you know, if I'm going to scout, I'm going to scout in the South.
You're smart. You're smart.
Yeah, it's great to be down here.
Coach, Miami recognized you last night and today, and what does it mean for you to be able to come back to where you sort of got your roots?
Well, you know, lots of memories. I saw some players I hadn't seen in 30 years, and we were reminiscing about playing in the old Lane Recreation Center, and, you know, really the tough times that we had to go through right around when Title IX was passed, but it was really, really a neat experience.
Didn't you used to practice outside here sometimes?
We were rained out at halftime one time. We were only the only game I think ever in the history of the women's game that was rained out at halftime. I think they have a football practice court now where we used to, football practice field where we used to actually play outside.
Now, I know one of your favorite things to do is to mentor some of the young coaches. And when you watch Susie, who you coached in the Olympics,
absolutely,
and you watch Katie, what makes you most proud about what they're both doing?
Well, I think they're both focused on improving the game of women's basketball, and, you know, and creating opportunities for these young women that, you know, they benefited from the passage of Title IX, and they got wonderful opportunities. Katie at Duke. You know, Susie, not only an Olympic coach, but a professional coach. So just passing the torch to them to keep making things better for girls and women in sport.
When you think about everything that you've accomplished in your career, and this year you are going to be honored by going into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, can you think back to one special moment or some special moment in time that makes you most proud about what you've helped the game become?
Well, I've really been thinking about that, and I know I look back since we lost our dear friend Betty James not so long ago, all the times that she and I spent just working to get Title IX passed and then working to keep it passed. I think a lot of people have lost touch with the fact that how hard it was to get it passed, and that there were always chances that it would be rescinded, and just keeping focused on keeping that wonderful piece of legislation. And then the great thing that just happened to me recently was going to the White House to meet the president, you know, and get a high five with from President Obama. That's all right up there at the top.
I could say so. You know, Coach, and I know you have to be proud of where college basketball is today. When you were at the beginning and you look around the league, particularly in the ACC, how far it has come. It has to give you a certain sense of pride.
Well, it does, and I think some people forget how long ago I was coaching. You know, we were reminiscing back in there. Before I got to Miami, I just finished winning a state championship, AIAW, in the state of Mississippi, and we beat a Margaret Wade coach team by 1 point at the Delta State Gym, and so that's how far back I go that I was able to be a part of coaching against the Margaret Wade. So, boy, that's I've seen a lot of changes and a lot of good things happen.
Coach, one of my favorite things to do with you is watch you draw up plays and work the game. I mean, over the many decades that you have coached, you have continued to advance the game. When you look at players and you look at plays, what is the most important thing that players need to be working on to get better?
Well, it's hard to say one thing, but I think you have to have skills. You have to have the ball handling skills, the passing skills, and then you have to have a knowledge of the game. We've got a lot of tremendous athletes today in our game, but so many of them don't have the skills then to go to the next level. So I'm looking for athleticism, but I also want those skills, the right hand, the left hand, the ability to pass, the ability to move the ball, and then the knowledge of the game, basketball IQ. I'm really looking for that. So it sounds like my fifth pick of the draft, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Well, we're not going to put you on the spot about the draft because that's just too hard. There's too much left to determine yet. But I do want to know this from you because you've been doing this for so long and you've excelled at the highest level. I know you love the game. What continues to motivate you to keep going?
Love of the game, and I really love being in the pro game. I told the group before, you know, it's all about the X's and O's. You know, that college game is a little bit different because you're so involved with the academics, and, you know, it's just a little bit different there with the pro game, both men and women, NBA and WNBA. It's all about the X's and O's. It's all about the tweaking this and adjusting that, and, you know, this scheme and that scheme, and I just love the X's and O's.
Can you assess for us Alyssa Thomas and Kayla McBride, 2 ACC players that will be probably up there?
I would love to see either one of them. Speaking of the 5th pick, yes, I anticipate that both of those players will go in the top 5. If they don't, I'll be stunned. I think the ACC is going to have 6, 7 players maybe taken in the first round. I don't think I've ever seen a conference like the ACC with so many quality seniors. And gosh, 14 teams with the size of the conference, and that's just 6 or 7 going in the first round. You know, another 4 or 5 may go in the second round. You know, when you look at what Wes Moore's done at NC State, bringing a lot of attention to his 2 big posts, Burke and Gatlin, that were kind of off the radar before the season started. There's a lot of quality players in this draft.
Coach, one day people are going to say, I coached against the great Lynn Dunn.
Well.
Hey, Lynn, thanks so much for stopping
guys.
by, and congratulations on going in the Hall of Fame.
Right, and I'll see y'all at the ACC tournament in Greensboro. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And for all you've done for women's basketball. This game has really turned into a good one. We'll catch you up on it when we come back. Well, here in Miami, and we've got a tie game between Pitt and Miami. For Pittsburgh, it's been the ability to hit a couple of threes, both of them by Asia Logan. And Miami scoring down in the paint 8 of their 15 points. Kiesel's gotten hot.
She's certainly the building block for Susie McConnell-Serio and her staff. I mean, there's a good freshman class coming in next year. As a matter of fact, ranked in the top 15. So already the impact of Coach McConnell-Serio being felt in the recruiting circles for Pittsburgh.
Davis now 1 for 5 from the line, but scores there her first field goal. Davis did not score on Thursday night against NC State. By the way, Hayes also picked up her second foul, Debbie, during that stretch run. So Hayes and Brown now each with 2.
So what all of a sudden became a minor advantage for Miami, with both teams being lacking size inside. Now their 2 best post players are on the bench. 2 best scorers in the post.
Pitt started 1 for 10 since 5 out of 8. What a good job of penetrating and dishing out to Brittany Gordon.
It's exactly the way you want to draw it up. Get right to the a piece of the paint to the ACC where you can make plays.
Saunders, Miami will be counting heavily on her now with their top 2 post players on the bench. Dennis and Logan, who has had a whale of a first half, down with it. Kiesel missed the layup. Kiesel's not shot the ball well. There's Williams hitting for 2.
Coach Meyer has spent a lot of time with her post players scoring in the shoot, the middle of the floor, the ACC down to the block, whether it's out of the pinch or it's in a post-up.
Davis. Logan got the offensive board, couldn't put it back.
Pittsburgh has become much more aggressive off the bounce, looking to attack the paint. That's helped set up their scoring, Mike.
Rebounds are dead even at 14, and this is not a great Pittsburgh rebounding team, so they're holding their own there.
Watch Kiesel right here. He's going to come off this get to the paint. Here's the open shooter right here. This is a great job to get into the middle of the floor, draws the help. Everybody's paying attention, and all you do is get your hands ready because she's going to deliver the basketball. Catch and shoot from the short corner. Nice play by Kiesel.
Kiesel, who played 40 minutes a game 4 times in ACC play. And you see 10 games with over 20 points, 5 in a row at one point. And as Debbie tells you, gets to the free throw line more than anybody else in the league. You know what else is impressive? She's set to graduate this spring. She's just a junior. Going to come back and get another degree next year.
She's over 1,300 points. We've already mentioned about the free throws. She's already hit a game winner against BC, which might be the clincher of them staying out of the 15 seed.
But
she's
Debbie,
added to her game every year, Mike. Every year her offensive numbers have gone up.
If there has been I don't want to say bad note, but if in her last 2 games, she came into this game just 3 for her last 19. She plays a lot of minutes, and you got to wonder if she's starting to maybe wear down a little bit.
You think maybe fatigue could become a factor, but she is such a competitor, and she has so much responsibility. A lot of those shots are late in the shot clock, or having to take the basketball and make a play. I think Coach McConnell-Serio completely trusts her.
Look at Williams go after the board. Williams really came alive Thursday against Virginia, had 8 rebounds, and today she's actually scoring. She only scored 2 points in that game.
You know she's a strong candidate for the all-screen team. She sets terrific screens in the middle of the floor to free up their penetration.
And she just picked up that Fowler first.
Watch this offensive rebound. 2 hands, back up strong, good finish off the glass. It's because she moves without the basketball and she reads from the top of the key. That's the best place to offensive rebound from, is the free throw line down into the paint.
How about this, Debbie? Logan in the first half, 9 points and 7 rebounds. The senior now in double figures. Trying to get her 5th double-double of the season.
Pitt working hard in their 2-3 zone.
Here's McGuire. That missed badly. Taken away, Motley.
Smart play by Saunders. You know, she likes to shoot the 3. She can get that shot at any time. Make Pitt play some D. Maybe you can get a higher percentage shot. What a great box out by Logan to keep Williams off the glass.
Talking about Saunders, she was one of 2 seniors who were honored before the game on Senior Day. There's Saunders. Intercepts the pass. Here comes Miami.
That's a great rotation on the weak side by Saunders.
Dennis for 3. First field goal today for Caprice Dennis.
That's a player that Katie Meyer would like to get going offensively. Beginning of the year, she had 3 consecutive 20-point games, and since then she hasn't cracked the 20-point mark.
She's number 2 on this team and 3-pointers made, and just hit 1. And now she's going to go to the free throw line. So, Debbie, the message might have gotten across. Dennis going to the line when we come back. 3:20 to go in the first half. Gorgeous day here in Miami. So far, it's been a gorgeous day for Miami inside. Miami with a 3-point lead thanks to a three-pointer from Caprice Dennis, who's getting ready to go to the foul line. But Pitt's top player, Asia Logan's got 2 fouls now.
She already has 10 points at the half. She averages 11. She's been the other double-figure scorer for Pittsburgh. And you see she's got a little range. She knocked down a couple of deep triples. She only had 15 coming into the game. Doing a nice job on a ball reversal, of setting her feet, catch and shoot. What you want your seniors to do at this time of the year is play their best basketball.
Well, when you realize that your days of wearing a college basketball uniform are coming to an end, sometimes we see players really start rising up.
You mean your life of luxury and high class travel and all that is coming to an end? You think they would appreciate it a little bit, because it's never going to be like this unless they're going to make a lot of money in whatever their career is. How many charter flights have we been on lately?
That
many.
would be none. I thought you had your own plane. I don't know why.
I got my own RV. Does that count?
That's close.
Look at the hustle right here.
The 3-ball from Nicole Sterling. Boy, she's having a heck of a first half now with 7 points.
You know, Coach Meyer told us today at shoot-around that that's her favorite player right now on the team. You're not supposed to have favorites, but it's because she's doing all the detail thing. And you'll watch her in shoot-around today. She was doing the most communication on the defensive end.
Sterling's a transfer from Gulf Coast Community College. Had a great game a few games ago in the win at Florida State at 14. Inside Williams, that's another player who's having a nice half.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Sterling makes a terrific post entry. Away from the defense, little bounce pass. It didn't make Williams come out of her stance. She was able to stay in her post-up position and catch and score.
And Debbie, I think it's worth making the point that they've got this 7-point lead now with 2 good players, Mariah Brown and Kiana Hayes, on the bench in foul trouble. They've each got 2. So the bench playing well for the Hurricanes. Sterling again.
It's a little heat check. That's one of those shots you're over there going, no, no, yes.
She had 9 points last Sunday against Wake, 9 today, and it's a 13-4 Miami run. That is a big shot by Frederique Potvin, known as a shooter.
Well, you put her on the floor to get you buckets, and then you run a play for her, and she delivers. It's good coaching.
All of her field goals in league play have been from behind the arc. Under a minute to play here in the first half. Shot was blocked by Williams. Williams has had a couple of blocks here in this first half.
Active on the back row. See, that's the danger of this Miami team. They're not tall, they're long, and they're athletic. And when they trap, they're committed to trapping. They are a very good defensive team. They can take you out of your first and your second option with their quickness.
Look at the defense that time by Kiesel. And one. Well, Kiesel's come alive here in the final minute of the half. And that's the second foul on Sterling.
Watch the dig in by Kiesel. Gets the deflection, and then she's off running the floor hard. She knows the contact is coming. Her eyes stay on the target. Watch her eyes. She never takes her eyes off the target to finish with contact to earn a trip to the line.
Kiesel now with 10 points. Coming up at halftime, Debbie and I are going to talk about the importance of this final day of the regular season and look ahead a little bit. Next week, we'll all be in Greensboro for the ACC Women's Tournament. And Notre Dame, what a year they have had. They're first in the ACC. We'll talk about the Irish and can anybody slow them down next week in Greensboro.
What an incredible job Muffet McGraw has done with Notre Dame. One of 2 unbeatens in college basketball on the women's side. They've got a little bit of everything, and they've got big game experience from their last 3 Final Four visits. And you heard Lynn Dunn talk about Kayla McBride. I mean, she's a top 5 pick for sure.
Kiesel, who is now in double figures with 11 points. Kiesel and Logan have 21 of Pitt's 29. Shot clock is dark. McGuire fouled with 4.4 seconds left.
What an excellent play by Katie Meyer and the composure of her team to execute it. I'm telling you, the pinch. No one can guard McGuire in the pinch. She draws a foul. They're going to have to inbound it.
Williams. 8.5 for Williams. And that bucket gives Miami a 34-29 lead here at halftime. Williams off the bench again with 8. And Miami coach Katie Meyer will put on a headset and join us. And Katie, in this first half, I think you got to give a lot of props to your bench. You had a couple of post players get in foul trouble early, but your bench has really come alive here.
Yeah, well, we've been blessed this year. We struggled early, not getting a lot of production off the bench, and we shuffled lineups all year long. But today I thought Nicole Sterling just really gave us a huge lift. And bringing McGuire off the bench, I mean, she's a starter on any team in the conference. So, you know, it's a good lift for us. We need it.
Coach, one of the things you've done so well this year is change the tempo in the second half. Can you do that against Pitt to extend your lead?
We better. We're not getting anything out of our presses, so we're going to have to make some adjustment as coaches and get our kids to play a little bit harder. I mean, we're jogging through our appeals, and that's not going to get it done.
All right. Katie, we'll let you go to the locker room, and thanks for stopping by and talking to us. Miami, with 19 points off the bench, leads Pitt 34-29. We're at the break here at the Bank United Center.
Spreading the floor a little bit. Markel Davis, Brianna Kiesel giving them opportunity for dribble drive opportunities coming off of on-ball screens. Just opening up a little bit the way they're defending our screens. They're showing, they're switching in their matchup. They've gone man. But we're just trying to create driving opportunities in the lane and then also kick-outs to shooters. And that's the biggest thing is us being able to knock down shots. We've had good looks. We just haven't been able to knock them down.
Well, Coach, good luck second half. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second half, close at hand. ACC Women's Basketball brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC, AT&T, Ruby Tuesday, and Haviland. Will Miami stay out of foul trouble in the second half? Can Pitt pick up their shooting? We'll see in a moment.
You're prepared for?
Well, we just got to handle their pressure. I mean, that's the biggest thing is not picking up our dribble, dribbling into traps, making sure we come to meet our passes so they're not high lob passes or slow bounce passes. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we can't make this a high possession game because that feeds into what their style of play is, and we just want to slow them down, and we can't allow offense to create their opportunities.
I asked her about handling Miami's pressure, I think. Something like that. Okay.
Debbie's going to re-ask the question. All right, and I'm going to say, and yeah, ready to go in the second half. And a minute ago, Debbie had a chance to talk with Pitt's coach. Back in Miami a moment ago, Debbie had a chance to talk with Pitt's coach.
Caught up with her out of the locker room. And, Coach, how are you going to handle Miami's pressure in their second half adjustments?
Well, we just got to handle their pressure. I mean, that's the biggest thing is not picking up our dribble, dribbling into traps, making sure we come to meet our passes so they're not high lob passes or slow bounce passes. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we can't make this a high possession game because that feeds into what their style of play is, and we just want to slow them down, and we can't allow our offense to create their opportunities.
Coach, Kiesel seems to be finding her way in the two-man game. Is there anything you like offensively about your tendencies early?
Well, we're just spreading the floor a little bit. Markel Davis, Brianna Kiesel giving them opportunity for dribble drive opportunities coming off of on-ball screens. Just opening up a little bit the way they're defending our screens. They're showing, they're switching in their matchup. They've gone man. But we're just trying to create driving opportunities in the lane and then also kick-outs to shooters. And that's the biggest thing is us being able to knock down shots. We've had good looks. We just haven't been able to knock them down.
That has been the story. You saw Asia Logan score there a moment ago, and now here comes Kiesel. A rare bad pass trying to hit Markel Davis. But Logan now the leading scorer in the game with 12. And it's a 3-point game.
I'd rather have Kiesel keep that another dribble and make a play than trying to pass it cross court in transition. That will be one Coach McConnell-Serio can break down on video tomorrow.
Remember, Brown and Hayes did not play a lot in the first half because of foul trouble. That's Brown on the end line. It'll belong to Pittsburgh.
Well, Mariah Brown playing in her final senior game is really working hard for post-up position inside. I say Miami keeps going to her. She's got to have fresh legs. Didn't play that many minutes in the first half.
Only played 4 minutes. Kiana Hayes only played 9 minutes for Miami. So 2 of their big guns should be fresh. You're right, Devin.
Miami hasn't changed the way they're guarding ball screens. They're still hedging.
Kiesel, nice drive. She'll go to the free throw line.
Ray McGuire, I think, is one of the better defenders in the ACC, and that's how good Kiesel is. She took her off the bounce, a longer defender, off the drive. A little pump fake, sets up the drive, power dribble, get to the free throw line.
Four for 4 from the line today. This will be her 175th free throw of the season, and that is a lot.
It's amazing to think that she could possibly go to the free throw line more than Alyssa Thomas from Maryland.
You know what? It's not even really close.
Yeah, the back-to-back ACC Player of the Year now. Thomas gets to the free throw line.
Well, those free throws have made this a 1-point game. Hayes. Pitt could take the lead with a bucket here. Shot clock at 10, they turn it over. Whistle and a foul.
When Ray McGuire gets playing downhill, Mike, she is so tough to defend because she's shifty and she's athletic and she can jump over most defenders.
Saunders from the corner, got it.
63s in the season, 16 twos. Guess what her scouting report is? Don't let her shoot the 3.
That 3 rims out. You're talking about Saunders and the 3s. She was only 1 for 15 in the previous 2 games before Virginia, where she came alive, and she's coming alive here.
Especially on an out-of-bounds play. Can't give up that deep corner 3.
You heard Susie McConnell-Serio tell us they've gotten good looks, just have not been able to knock them down. Bucket will count.
What a play. What an incredible play. That's the pinch post. That's what I'm talking about. You catch it at the elbow, it's tough to defend. They call that continuation.
And that's the 3rd foul on Mariah Brown, who was limited to 4 minutes in the first half, and she's having to come out here.
That's not the way you want to play on senior day. You know, you want to play your best basketball in your last opportunity on the court.
I heard a great quote from Virginia coach Tony Bennett about that. It's senior day against Syracuse, and he told his guys, you know what? I don't want you to think about it. We'll have a big party at my house after the season to celebrate.
See, look at that. Downhill offensive or defensive rebound right into their transition game. This is what makes Miami dangerous. Now watch this rebound. Look where she goes to get it. And she's going to work on tightening up her handle in the offseason. But this right here, that's hard to stop.
Also going to have to work a little on her free throw shooting. She's now 0 for 3 from the line.
Well, what McGuire does so well, Mike, is that right there. Rebound, fill the middle, get in transition. But she makes plays for herself right now. She is going to develop into a player that can make plays for others. Shooters in the corner, because this Miami team runs. You can benefit from a player with that kind of athleticism who draws so much attention. She can set up others.
Rochelle Jones, Joe Cunningham, two of our officials, have going to see who the foul was on. It was initially given to Markel Davis in her third foul.
Well, you can go to the monitor to look. I think there's the foul right there, unless they called it before she got into her act of shooting. But I think the foul's here on number 22 in blue. You see her arm, her hand on the elbow.
That would be Chelsea Welch. And that would benefit Pitt, as Markel Davis was taken out of the game after picking up that third foul. Well, they're going to confirm it that it was Davis. So she comes out. Frederique Potvin is in to replace her, the freshman from Canada. And McGuire will get another free throw. McGuire now 0 for 3 from the line. Just 2 points today. Most of the points have come from the bench.
And McGuire's going to have to get in the gym and work on free throws. She's going to get to the line. She might as well make them.
Miami just 4 for 9 from the line of the game.
Oh, a great find by Kiesel. What a great pass.
First points today for Chelsea Welch, and that ties the game at 37.
You see the difference between a soft trap and a hard trap? Because a soft trap allowed Kiesel to see.
Kiana Hayes, who's coming off her career high, now starting to get going for Miami. Coming up with the steal, Motley. Knocked out of bounds. It'll still belong to the Hurricanes. Well, Pitt is hanging in there. Fought back to tie it. Miami will have possession when we come back.
Okay, you know this screen's not very good out here, but I can do it. Okay, she's going to come off the screen right here, okay? Here's the double team. All right, keep rolling it. Watch this. Go back a little bit. I want you to freeze it twice, okay? Here's the screen. She's going to come off the screen, okay? Then roll, okay? Roll it a little further. Okay, hold it right here. Here's the trap, okay? She's taking one pass away. She's taking one pass away. She is wide open, okay? She makes a nice basket cut, and because the trap's not... She's supposed to drop down. Okay. Is that McGuire? Yes, it is. McGuire. I'm picking on McGuire now. Yeah. Yep. So you're going to let me draw all that. Okay. So yes, sir. Okay. You want me to take it at a break? Watch out. Miami with a 2-point lead, and they're trying to bring some pressure, but watch this screening action right here, and watch how Kiesel plays off of it. If you're going to bring the trap, you better bring it committed, and your rotations better be good. Okay, freeze it right here. Here's the double team. Hands are down. Okay, right here, McGuire needs to be dropping down. She's taking one pass away. She's got one pass away. Watch how wide open Pitt is underneath the basket. That is just a great play by Kiesel, because she stretches that hedge and creates space and then can see all the way to the rim. If you're going to bring that, you better bring it hard if you're Miami.
Sterling can't hit it inside. Kiesel up with it for Pittsburgh. And again, Pittsburgh has a chance to tie or take the lead. Panthers have hung in there today.
At this point in the game, Miami is going to be more aggressive with their defense, Mike. So it's going to set up backdoor opportunities for Pitt. Also some ball faking and some shot faking.
Hockman, the freshman. Kiesel. Kiesel, as we said, plays second most minutes in the league. Had a tough time shooting the last couple of games. Hayes inside.
You bring that up because her shots have been short.
Logan, what a game she's having. Third three today for Asia Logan.
Come on, Asia, shoot till your arm falls off.
And that bucket gives Pitt the lead, their first lead since it was 15-13.
Now remember what I said about Miami's D. Pitt's going to have an opportunity here to look back door when they have the ball on offense. Their defense has been solid.
Sterling.
That bench just continues to grow for Katie Meyer, and it's at the right time of the season.
You're right, it has been impressive. Here's Logan again, not this time. What's amazing, and you brought this up earlier, she only had 15 threes the entire season coming into the game. She's got 3 today.
It's March.
Well, things start happening in March. Here's Logan again. Another 3! Make that 4 today. My goodness.
Dial it up, Coach McConnell. Serio, right now, Logan can deliver anything you want offensively.
She's found a new shooter, that's for sure. Debbie, I think a big part of this is second chance points for Pittsburgh. They have, out on the offensive boards, 12-3 over Miami. Offensive rebounding. Pittsburgh on top of Miami, and on this last day of the regular season, these games are important. These teams trying to stay out of the bottom of the standings. Miami trying to make sure they don't play on Wednesday. And Asia Logan now with 20 points in the game.
I love watching seniors at the end of their careers really turn it on, and that's exactly what Asia Logan is doing. You don't expect this on the scouter report, but she's in a groove, and she's feeling good, and Coach McConnell-Serio is putting her in a position on ball, ball reversals, doing a nice job of moving her around so that she can be effective outside the arc. And then she's delivering those shots that she said that her players needed to make, and they're making them in the second half.
What a difference a week makes. Last week against Syracuse, she was 0 for 8. Today, she's got 20 points. Here's Dennis. 7 to shoot. Saunders will take it and hit it.
Good poise off the out of bounds, or off the timeout by Miami. Great execution. Everybody gets a touch. They play off the pass.
Second 3 of the day for Saunders has given Miami the lead. And you got to believe, Debbie, the pressure starts building on Miami as long as Pitt hangs around, and there's the bucket by Kiesel.
You remember we were talking to Coach McConnell-Serio about Kiesel's game, and she said everybody's going under her on ball screens. She's got to be able to make shots. Miami goes under, she sticks the jumper.
And Kiesel comes up with a steal. She's starting to really turn it on. Can't hit the layup, but she's fouled, and Kiesel, who's been perfect from the line today, will go back.
Watch Kiesel right here, read the D. Okay, Priest-Dennis, you're going to go under? She's going to stop right here and pull up right behind the screen, exactly the way you're supposed to do it. A beautiful mid-range pull-up. Then she goes down and gets a steal and works her way to the free throw line.
That's her first free throw miss.
Watch this right here. Has a good anticipation in the passing lane. Okay, she knows she's got an option to her right, but she knows she's the best option because she's going to the line. You know, Mike, you know what I say about good point guards? 3 W's. A good point guard understands what I call the 3 W's. Who to get it to, when, and where. She hasn't had that many weapons around her all year. It's been emerging and growing. The freshman class is getting better. The incoming freshmen will be even better and play right away. Kiesel has an understanding of how to play the game, and Susie McConnell-Serio, there hadn't been very many better point guards in the history of our game than her.
Saunders, not that time, and look at Kiesel. 5'7" go amongst the tall trees to get the rebound. Block. That's an offensive foul on Kiesel. It's her first.
This is a terrific defensive play by Crystal Saunders, okay? Because it starts outside the lower defensive box. It's a slow developing play. Saunders gets outside the restricted area and draws a charge.
Debbie, that rebound a moment ago by Kiesel was her 10th. She's got a double-double. Hayes scores in the paint.
Yeah, I think Kiana Hayes needs to go to work and demand the basketball. This time Miami switches on an on-ball.
Potvin, the freshman, can't hit it. Miami with the ball now in a 1-point lead. Sterling counts! And one to Cole Sterling, who was outstanding in the first half. She'll go to the free throw line when we come back. 11:20 to go. Got a good one going here in South Florida. Miami's up 3. ACC women's basketball. ACC women's basketball is brought to you in part by Hardee's Chicken Tender Box. Back in Miami, both teams shooting fairly well in the second half. As you check our game summary, Miami at 48%. Look at offensive rebounds, though. That has been huge for Pitt today.
Well, Pitt has missed 39 shots, and they've rebounded 12 of them. That's not bad for their offensive rebounding percentage, considering they only offensive rebound about 39% of their shots on the average. So, you know, the thing is, if you pass the ball well, you'll find good shots. If you take shots in your system, you can get to the offensive glass. And because of the way Miami is defending Pitt, there are opportunities to offensive rebound because there's mismatches out there. So Pitt's hustling right now. I mean, they're playing a competitive basketball game.
This is a team, Pittsburgh, that in the league rankings ranks last in offensive rebounding, but they certainly have not rebounded like that today.
See, Coach Myers changed the way she's handling ball screening action. They're switching all that on ball now instead of hedging.
Brown is back in the game. That's Sterling with the rebound. By the way, Sterling just tied her career high a moment ago. Hey, Kiana Hayes inside.
Hayes gets rewarded for running to the rim. It's a great pass by Sterling. When Miami defensive rebounds, Mike, they can play the tempo they want to play.
All of a sudden, things have gone cold for Pittsburgh, and Miami's making them pay. Sterling. Look at the offensive board by Caprice Dennis. It'll still belong to Miami.
What Miami is so good at is not making the outlet pass. They don't need it. All their rebounders can handle and can push. It's a great find by Sterling all the way up the court, and a better catch by Hayes.
Pitt led this game 45-44. As you can see, Miami has gone now on a 7-0 run to take this 51-45 lead.
Good job by the officials to come together and want to get it right. And, you know, this trip down for Pitt, this is Kiesel right here. Kiesel's got to take this shot. She's got to be selfish. Demand the basketball. Okay, they're going to run a play for her because she's off the ball, Mike.
Pitt really needs a bucket. Kiesel kicks it out. And the three goes from Chelsea Welch. They've shot the three as well today as they have at any time this season.
Well, and Kiesel does a great job of setting it up. That's what I'm talking about, the 3 W's. Who to get it to, when, and where.
Offensive rebound by Brown. That's an offensive foul on Brown, and Debbie, that is her 4th.
Watch Kiesel right here. They get her off a flare. She drives. She gets Nicole Sterling leaning just enough to set up the lefty outside the three-point line. Smart.
Mariah Brown heads to the bench. 4 fouls and no field goals today. Kiesel drives past Saunders.
Tough. I mean, what a competitor. And the zone has really slowed Miami down when they've been able to score and set it up.
That bucket draws Pitt back to within one. Dennis.
Saunders is the best three-point shooter outside the arc. You got to know where she is.
Hayes, whoa, what a nice move.
So good with her left hand, isn't she, Mike?
Yeah, 13 points now for Hayes. Much of that here in the second half. Davis. Davis, a tough day from the field, just 1 for 8. Saunders gonna take it all the way, reverse layup, got it to go.
Asia Logan is limping on the other end, slow to get up. Numbers the other way for Miami, great finish by Saunders.
Boy, that would be a blow. Logan today with 20 points, including 4 3-pointers. And the senior heads to the bench. Let's hope she's okay. 8:19 to go. Miami up 5 on Pittsburgh. One of the big stories for Pitt today, Asia Logan, 20 points, 9 rebounds, but concerned now as she limped to the bench a moment ago.
Well, there's a lot of contact on the weak side. Now hold her right here. This is her in the matchup right here, trying to get a post-up position. Miami has switched on everything, and as they turn the corner, watch right here. She's going to step on the foot of Nicole Sterling with her right foot, and she's going to go down immediately. She is back on the floor, so I guess she's going to work through it. I hope she's okay, because she's having a big game. Monster game.
Had 24 earlier this year in Pitt's win over Boston College. So when they've had league wins, Asia Logan has come up big. Only 3 Pitt players have scored in this second half. Logan, Kiesel, and Chelsea Welch. Those are the only 3 who have points in this half for Pittsburgh, who trails by 5. Saunders, deep 3.
Yeah, you're having success with Hayes on the inside. I would give her a touch.
Logan still having trouble running down the floor, but just got her 10th rebound. She has a double-double today.
You know who's been quiet for Miami is Adrian Motley. She hasn't had very much offense going today.
Only 1 field goal.
Yeah, the bench has been so good.
Well, you just saw Kiesel leave that shot again way short.
Well, Coach McConnell-Serio said she'd like to try to rest her in the middle of the first and the second half, but it's impossible to get her off the floor. She's too valuable.
5 to shoot. Great ball movement to Hayes. Hayes now with 10 points in the second half to lead Miami, and now Miami has equaled their largest lead of the half with 7.
Playing off the pass has been the emphasis by Miami. Ball doesn't even hit the floor. Look how they space the floor. They cut, they move. Everyone gets a touch, they get a layup. Great ball movement by Miami.
Here's the final. Florida State has beaten Virginia, so Florida State may, and again I say may with a capital N, have played themselves out of Wednesday. As these are, it is unofficial. And I'm not a math major like Debbie was, so it's.
I don't know anything about the S-curve, Mike. No S-curve work over here. Although NC State is a mathematics and engineering school. I'm going to make sure everybody knows that.
Foul's going to be whistled on Sterling. Hey, we knew that, by the way.
Look at the hustle right here. I really like Kiesel. I like her game. I like the way she thinks the game. And I love her attitude towards the game. She's got great basketball body language, Mike.
I'll tell you what, Asia Logan is still limping and just was not able to elevate correctly. When you have a bad ankle, it's really tough to shoot.
You got to have good feet. You know, it's a foundation for every basketball player. What in the world is going on with Nicole Sterling?
Sterling having a career day today. Now leads Miami in scoring.
She's been terrific. I mean, she's hustled, she's rebounded, she's defended her position, she's communicated on the defensive end.
Miami has scored 8 unanswered points. Pitt needs a bucket. They've equaled their largest lead of the game now at 9. Logan, boy, tough shot.
Logan. And she's playing on, you know, 1.5 legs right now with that ankle injury.
Toughness, big part of this game.
The screen on Hayes off the ball, setting a screen. Look at this play right here. She dribbles right into help and still can elevate and score.
Dennis comes in for Sterling. Sterling gets a nice hand as she's had a career high today. Pitt needs a bucket with just over 5 minutes left. They led 45-44. Crossover, Kiesel can't get it. And Miami, great job coming up with the loose ball.
Good
inside.
Gosh, that's a great execution against Horns. You got to be able to put that down. Katie Meyer got exactly the shot she wanted.
11 rebounds now for Logan to go along with her 22 points. Logan works against Hayes.
Let space open up for Caprice Dennis.
Hayes missed her last couple of shots. Still a big opportunity for Pittsburgh. but they cannot have that many empty possessions.
Look at both these coaches over here. I mean, they are coaching every possession, trying to dial it up right now. Good take by Kiesel.
Kiesel's got 19. 5-point game. Saunders, big bucket.
That's a senior on senior day, playing off the ball screen.
Saunders, the senior, had her parents here. She was honored before the game. They've seen her score 12 points. Those two were big. Kiesel again falls down. McGuire up with it. Numbers from Miami. Oh my goodness, is McGuire explosive. Wow. And that draws a big fist in the air from Katie Meyer. Happy with her team on that break. She gives McGuire a hug. And the largest lead has been equaled again at 9. 2:36 left. Who wants it here in Florida? (63-54) is our score here in Miami as we get down to the final minutes. Sarah McGuire, what a play she had a moment ago. Now you've got a new team we're going to see next week in Greensboro.
Calling it the Ain't No Joke team, because watch McGuire's athleticism. This ain't no joke. She is up at the rim. If the shot hadn't have gone in, she was going to tap it or dunk it in. Remember, we told you she could put a sticky note on the top of the box on the backboard. I mean, that ain't no joke, Hog, and that's the new team that I'm introducing, because there's some players around this league that got game that might go unnoticed by the stat sheet, and we're going to recognize them at the tournament.
Can't wait to see that. I'm trying to think of several who you might put on that team.
I'm going to keep it a surprise. I already got my list. You have to stick around the tournament and find out. I'll be there.
Kiesel misses, and Miami in good shape now, up 9. Boy, it's a game of runs, and Miami made the run when they needed it. A win today puts them at 500 in the league.
When I look at this Miami team, I think their balance is getting better offensively, and their post play has certainly improved. You know, Katie Meyer started out the season thinking dribble drive, spread it out, play off the bounce, and she has evolved her system into something different because her post play has evolved.
What a second half for Hayes. Saunders, Hayes, Sterling, the double-figure scores today. And you know, they've been able to do this without the points from Adrian Motley.
Which, again, speaks to their balance. I think she got away with a walk right there.
Motley, the leading scorer on this team in ACC play at almost 14 a game, has only scored 2 points. Yet the bench has been such a big key for Katie Meyer's team. I don't think they're going to get to 20 this year, Katie Meyer's team, but what a coaching job she's done. At halftime, she told us she's played a lot of lineups. You know, I find it amazing that almost everybody on the roster, well, actually everybody on the roster, has started a minimum of 2 games.
Yeah, they've got balance, and Coach Meyer is a high IQ, high intensity coach, and every one of these players understands the system. When you watch film of this team or you listen to them in practice, they got a whole other language with their vernacular. And you know what, Hog? They do have a chance to get to 20 wins because they're going to.
You're right, 5, yeah.
You know, they are going to be a postseason team.
Well, I tell you what, they've really struggled from the line today. 5 for 13. But they're going to win today. 16th of the season. You're right, just 4 more to get to 20. Blocked by Logan. And a shot clock violation.
Coach Meyer recognizes, you know, all right, they D'd us up on that one. That's good, D. All right, that's all right.
Yeah, when you're up 11 and 40 seconds left,
yeah,
you're okay.
You might be able to take a deep breath and smile a little bit.
Hayes, another rebound.
But you know what? How about Coach McConnell-Serio's team? 3 wins in league play, and they come in here and they challenge Miami and compete. And I think at this stage, while you're in the building process with your team, you want to see if your team will compete and will they fight.
Here's the senior going to the bench. Crystal Saunders getting a hug from the coach and a standing ovation here from the crowd. Crowd rises to its feet in honor of the senior and what she's contributed over her 4 years. Well, Debbie and I will be in Greensboro next week, and hope you'll join us starting Wednesday. Most of you right here will be able to see the ACC tournament.
You know, Mike, all the things that I just said about Coach Meyer and the high IQ and the vernacular, you know, Crystal Saunders can complete Katie Meyer's sentence. That's how much she understands the system and what Coach Meyer wants.
14-point second half for Kiana Hayes. Final seconds of the game. Pittsburgh will go to 3 and 13 in league play. The story is Miami winning 3 in a row for the first time this season. Miami closed this game on a 16-4 run. And what a finish to the regular season for the Miami Hurricanes. They had lost 3 of 4, 3 straight home games, but then last Sunday beat Wake Forest, Thursday beat Virginia, and here today they close out the regular season with a win over Pittsburgh. Crystal Saunders will be talking to us in a moment. When you're a senior and you come out, you hug everybody. It's been a great 4 years for Crystal Saunders.
Sorry, did you get out of your prayer? Sorry.
30 seconds.